I'm Marie Vandenbeusch. I'm a curator at the British Museum in the Department of Egypt and Sudan. This project started more than 8 years ago, and that's really when the British Museum and NGV started discussing about this exhibition. And at that time, I started thinking about the narrative and how I wanted to shape the exhibition, looking at some of the objects, creating the list of work that I wanted to include. And I think that's one of the parts I really enjoyed, because it's where you start looking at the collection, opening drawers, and making the narrative in your head. And it's also a moment where you kind of rediscover in the hidden gems that you haven't necessarily seen before. I started thinking about ancient Egypt quite early on, because there are a lot of family members and friends of my family who were traveling to Egypt quite often. It's been part of my surrounding for a very long time. And when I had to think about what I would do in terms of studies, I didn't really think too much about it. I just enrolled in ancient Egypt, and it all started from there. It's always a learning curve, and you always learn so many things by working in that kind of field and working with a collection like you have at the British Museum. I think this exhibition sets apart for different reasons. First, is also the largest exhibition that the British Museum ever put together, really focusing on some of the highlights of the collection, key pieces and iconic pieces, but also less well-known objects. And what I really wanted to do with that exhibition is, obviously it's about pharaohs and it's about this kind of iconic, mythical figure, but it's also about all the people behind the king. And I hope that the visitors will really get a sense of all the individuals that live and made the ancient Egypt civilization what it is. The design was really done in partnership with NGV, and I think that's what makes also the strength of this exhibition. Is the British Museum is really archaeological focus, while NGV is more an art gallery focus, and we really try to merge that in the design. So the idea is to really have this journey of the sun from dawn to dusk. And what I really love with this idea is some of the rooms are more atmospheric, while others are full of lights. It's really Egyptian. When you go to Egypt, you have this really brilliant type of light, and that's not something you're really used to have in Egyptological exhibition, where it's usually very, very dark. And that's something I think people are going to enjoy in a very different way.